Guys, guys, oh my goodness. Man, I swear to God, look. Alright, this is the first time ever in my entire 2 year thing of reviewing. Man, oh my goodness. Okay. I had to watch this episode twice and then skim back over it just because it was so fucking epic. I cannot decide who's more badass. Meruem for enduring all of Netero's attacks, even the one that basically drained him, or Netero being able to close a fucking amputated leg with one hand. He literally squeezed his wound closed. And that part when Meruem ripped off his other arm and he said, "Did you not think I can pray with only one hand?" Oh my God. Oh man, this episode is fucking legendary. Now this is how a Hunter x Hunter episode should be. The speed is still there. Personally, I think the slow motion like scenes that we've been getting the past few episodes, like when Killua is moving really fast or Netero is moving really fast and everything's in slow motion, I think that takes away compared to what we've seen in this episode, how everything was all, sped up and in real time. And Meruem is quick as fuck, and just the fact that he took all of those hits and barely got scratched and ended up finally finding that one needle in those thousands of needles and threading it straight through and cutting off Netero's leg. That says a lot about Meruem's strength. Both of these, this was like a clash of gods, man. The ending was great. That bomb, man, just forming the shape of a rose. Oh my God, is Meruem still alive? He can't be after that. Or if he is, he's near death. Because in the preview, we see, I believe it was Poof and maybe Yuppie, I forget. They look like what the fuck. And Poof's face is like half mutated into like an actual ant. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on there? So maybe they sense that the king is dead, but I'm pretty sure this is it for Netero because he had to stop his own heart. And how much of a G do you have, man? Netero has earned my utmost respect. He is one of the most badass characters in any anime ever. This dude gets his leg cut off, does not slow down, gets his arm ripped off, does not slow down, in fact brings out an even more powerful attack, and when that doesn't work, he takes his own life just for, the destruction of this Ant King. It's awesome how Netero did keep his word. He did tell Meruem his name right before he took his own life. So with this has me believing that the king is not dead. He may be crippled or like torn up really, really badly, but just the fact that Netero just told Meruem his name, I'm pretty sure this isn't the end. I mean, because I just can't see Meruem finding out his name and then dying a few seconds afterwards. But Meruem took hundreds and thousands of slaps and punches and all types of things from Netero, and he after, I think the announcer said, like after a few 100,000, he began to feel a slight pain after being knocked into the ground, under the ground, into pillars, all types of things. Meruem kept bouncing back. I honestly cannot decide who's more badass, but Netero really did. He upped my respect for this guy like through the roof. Over 9,000, goddammit. This dude went the fuck in. But that last attack, Rose, man, that was so fucking epic. It had to have done some major damage to the king. I mean, even the king said, "You had me checkmated from the start." And that final scene, Netero's final words saying that humanity has an unlimited potential to evolve. And the king feeling fear for the first time. Everything, the last 5 minutes of this episode was just straight up legendary. By far, one of the best episodes, the best episode of Hunter x Hunter in 2014 so far. No, the best episode of anything 2014 so far. I don't care what you guys say. This episode was up there with the big dog. I was really impressed with both of these guys. Meruem just kept bouncing back no matter what Netero threw at him. And like I said, even after Netero's most powerful attack, the zero hand, this guy was scratched up. He was messed up pretty bad, but nothing compared to Netero. Now, if Meruem had escaped before Rose had went off, then we can say that Meruem won. But it's not clear until next episode. We see what really happens to Meruem. But man, Meruem is a fucking monster. Netero is too, man. These guys, but it was really nice to see when Meruem said that he has nothing but admiration for this guy, and Netero was having fun too. They were both laughing and smiling. Like, this is a battle to the death, pretty much. And I mean, they're both enjoying it and laughing. Meruem has never had a challenge like this, and Netero obviously hasn't either. So this was like the high point in both of their lives. They both enjoyed it, and Netero went out with the bang. You know, no pun intended, intentionally anyway. Personally, I may get a lot of hate for this, but it's obvious that Meruem was stronger than Netero, because Meruem came at Netero with the intent of just crippling him and, as he put it, checkmating him so he could learn his name, whereas Netero was trying to kill Meruem the entire time. So if Meruem really wanted Netero dead, it could have happened when he cut off his leg. He could have easily went for the head or something like that. But in the end, when Netero's heart stopped, the bomb still would have went off. But as far as raw power, I'm going to say that the king is slightly stronger than Netero. Because think about it, man. Netero has slapped and punched Meruem around over 100,000 times, and it only takes one strike for Meruem to take off a body part off of Netero. So it's clear that Meruem is the strongest one here, but Netero has the strongest resolve. He has the most experience, and in the end, it's not always about power and who's the strongest to determine a victory, as we see here. Because even if Meruem is still alive after this, Netero has no doubt taught this guy a lesson, and I'm pretty sure Meruem won't be terrorizing anyone anytime soon. Meruem didn't even use any nin. This is just straight up the king's raw power. Just imagine if he was this strong and had a nin ability. This dude would not be touched by anyone. Now, this is an episode I should have done a live reaction to. This is an episode that I wish I knew was going to be as epic as it was, just so I can give you guys my reaction. Because my reaction, I mean, I literally went back and rewatched some parts while I was watching it both times. Like I said, I watched it twice and then skimmed through it like a third time just to absorb all the epicness. I know I'm fangirling a lot over this episode, but you guys can't blame me. If you've seen this episode, if you've seen it, you're probably still fangirling right now. And I like how when Killua sensed Zero Hand, he said, "Oh, fuck this shit." He turned and went the fuck in the other direction. But the fact that Netero's, the entirety of his aura was focused into Zero Hand, and Meruem still walked away, only cut up, that says a tremendous amount about the Ant King. If he survives this, who is going to be the one to take him down? Now, after this fight, I have very, very high hopes for the Gon versus Neferpito fight, because it's going to take a lot for that fight to top what I just witnessed here. But seriously, if Meruem is not killed in this episode, if the Rose did not kill Meruem, who is going to be the one to take him down? Because the entirety of Netero's aura was not enough to kill this guy. Who is stronger than Netero? Maybe Gon's dad comes in or something like that. But maybe Rose messed him up so bad that anyone could take him down. Well, I'm not going to say anyone, but someone else could have a fighting chance against Meruem. But man, I really cannot even begin to explain how awesome this episode was for me. Catching up to Hunter x Hunter is one of the best decisions that I've made anime-wise in a long, long time, since Attack on Titan. But hopefully the speed in this episode will stay this way, because I remember in the Phantom Troop arc, whenever enemies were moving real fast, they actually looked like they were moving real fast. But in this arc, well, for the past 10 or 11 episodes, everything that was really fast was shown in slow motion, but not this episode, boy. Meruem's speed was shown to the max, and just the punches exchanged between Meruem and Netero, all we see is sparks. That's the stuff I want to see. Enough of the slow motion stuff. Hopefully after this episode, it will continue this speed thing. But the animation in this episode, damn near flawless. The 3D effects on the needles, the gungi boards, everything about this episode. The roles look brilliant. The scene when the skull was behind Netero, oh man, everything was just orgasmic. This is eye porn, man. This is anime porn for the eyes. And not to mention, it was graphic. I mean, they actually showed his leg come off, like no shadow stuff. You actually see the leg come off, flop on the ground, blood just gushing out of his shoulder and leg. I mean, man, they really showed their asses with this episode. But guys, tell me what you think. Who do you think is more badass? Meruem for being able to take literally everything Netero threw at him, or do you think Netero is more beast because of just the epic resolve that he showed in this episode? Because it takes so much to do what he did. And this guy literally introduced fear to Meruem. He has never ever felt it before in his entire life. You know, granted his life hasn't been that long yet, but he's went up against and he's seen some powerful people and some techniques, and he's never felt fear before. So I'd like to think that if Meruem did survive this, his outlook on humanity is no doubt going to be changed. He's probably not going to think of them as an inferior race anymore. But this was a very, very impressive episode. 2 thumbs up. I wish I had more thumbs so I can give it like a 20 thumbs up. God damn it. This was a 50 out of 10 amazing episode. But anyway, tell me what you guys thought. This has been gewd. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.